Okay, we're going live.
Dave,
We are up.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the BlabberMalt Show with your hosts, Dave and Matthias, two guys that blabber incessantly about beer, brewing, and bullcrap. Stick around while they brew up another tasty episode.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
We are back. We got power. This
We've
is
got power.
BlabberMalt Show, episode 71 for August 13th, 2024. For those of you who don't know, we do a live show here on Facebook and YouTube, 7 o'clock every Tuesday.
Boom.
Except last week.
Yes.
What?
7 o'clock sharp, Tommy.
Yeah, sharp, Tom.
Where you at, buddy?
So tonight we have Larry from ESP. He was gracious enough to host us 2 weeks ago out at his brewery in Amherst. We really appreciate that. Had a great time. Great flight of beers. Took a brief tour into the Faraday cage and lost internet connection. And had to come back out.
We did. But it kept rolling.
Yeah.
The live video kept going. We picked right back up where we left off.
Yep.
It was a good time, man.
Yeah, I drop calls all the time. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I know where to walk to when I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait.
Oh, is that what happened?
Click. What?
Dang. On that note, Dave, how people get a hold of us?
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're the BlabberMalt Show, Facebook, YouTube, and at BlabberMalt at X, Instagram, and Threads.
Smash that button.
Yeah, and get that Beacons link. You can find all those details and get to our Printify shop and get some swag, some glasses and hats and shirts and hoodies and all the good stuff.
All the goodies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost hoodie weather, brother.
It is.
Can't wait to get that thing back on. It's one of my faves.
Summer is waning.
Yeah, buddy.
Oops.
It's time to mash in.
So, we're back. We were going to do a show with Larry last week, but as everybody knows, the tornadoes came through. Lots of people lost power. Did you guys lose power?
We lost half of our power, so
Half
we
of
had
your
a little
power,
bit of
okay.
power left to everything that was refrigerated. The beer stayed cold, the food stayed cold,
that's
and the hops
good.
stayed frozen. But the cellar was out. A couple temperatures went high. It was
Okay.
kind of scary. I was going to suggest everybody go into the cooler with their plastic cup to be protected, but our guests didn't want to leave because it was raining too damn hard. So they stuck around until it calmed down, and then they left.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I was out trying to get a shirt and tie for my nephew's wedding, and it hit, man.
Fast.
Yeah, it was fast
And hard.
furious, yeah.
I think this is what they say now. Five tornadoes touched down.
Yeah.
We had one in Avon Lake. I think the second one was in Bay Village now.
Yeah.
Parma.
Yep, touchdown in Parma.
And then on the near east side, two of them on
Yeah.
the near side.
Yeah, luckily right here we didn't have any damage to the house, but we, of course, lost power, and there was limbs down and, leaves and debris blown around. But
Yeah.
And we were out of power for like 3 days, so luckily we have a battery backup in the sump over in the corner, and didn't flood. But I was nervous.
That's one thing we're always nervous about. When we lose power, that's our biggest thing. And after 20 years, I still haven't gotten anything
Yeah.
to back it up. Rolling the dice every time. But yeah, we were out for days. What a blessing that you guys didn't have to deal with.
We were out for about 20 hours.
The coolers were all good.
Right. We're by the time we opened on Wednesday, we were back up and running, which is but like Railroad Brewing Company really took a hit, and Tom was out for days, and
Yeah.
he lost a lot of food, and if the people can go out there and support Tom a little bit and let him play catch up and drink some good beer
Yep.
he makes, and we'll be good shape.
Yeah, we were. Go ahead.
You guys lost some food too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Avon Brewing Company was out. ZZ's was out. Madison was out, which I didn't expect Madison to be out, but all of those were out from Tuesday through late Friday. So we just lost everything. We couldn't keep anything, and total loss of our food products was gone.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's nothing you can do, right?
No, but we got in a lucky. It works out some certain ways. The only thing that was not in diacetyl rest at the time was our bright tank.
Yeah.
And so, hey, I warmed up a little bit. Dogs got to eat was in the bright. And so it didn't hurt that to creep up over a couple of days. And, only took a little bit of time to get that back to temperature and let the carbs settle in on its own. Because when it warms up, it overcarbs itself. And so once it chills back down, it kind of just gets itself back in solution. Waited for a while, tested it over a couple of days, and then went ahead and packaged it up. So, we got puppies excited down here. Uh-oh. Wonder why. Guess who's
big trouble.
Hey, man. 7 o'clock sharp show.
Yeah.
Even I was here on time today. I'm just kidding.
Talking about food getting too warm to stay in the deep freeze. I saw that Smoking Rock and Roll. They were like, screw it, let's cook this food.
Yeah.
And they gave it away.
Nice.
Just had people come down and
Well, I wish we donated what we could donate early on, but then when stuff that was in walk-ins we could donate. Stuff that was in the other coolers, there's no telling what that was like.
They have outdoor smokers, so they if you don't have the means to cook that outside and you're relying on electricity, you're kind of out of luck.
Yeah, out of luck. So awesome that they did that. I saw it on social media. Yeah, good for them. So, how was your weekend, man? I guess 2 weekends. Good. What's going on?
Yeah, 2 weekends. Well, I was in Pittsburgh for my nephew's wedding, and I had to brew. I brewed some beer, and the last beer, power goes out. I got to carb it because it was like right down to the wire. So I'm like, I need refrigeration, and I need, way to keep it cool and put some CO2 into it. So I ordered one of those. Blickman has that quick carb that pumps it and put pressure on it. Well, it needs electricity. That's how close I was to the wire. I had to carb it like that.
On the spot.
So I did it the old-fashioned way: big bucket, ice, pressure,
shaky,
rock it, back in, rock it, and it worked. It worked. There you go. It was actually possibly a little overcarbed, but I, didn't have any way to, picnic cooler. I'm like, it's a little fluffy, but okay.
Speaking of fluffy, this beer is fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is my Barnstorm 24.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. It's good beer.
Do you guys know that Dave brews a saison?
Well, this is the same recipe, a little bit different hops and a different yeast, but it's this was the same recipe.
There it is.
The Barnstorm.
Yeah. That was good. This is great. To be honest with you, it's hard to remember back to 2016. I think this is a better version.
I think it is too. I think it's a better yeast profile.
Yeah, it's great.
This is the Lallemand powdered dry yeast. So much easier. Just throw it in.
That was good. So where else did you go? You said you had a couple stops at some breweries?
Yeah, we when we were there, we stopped at Cinderlands and, had dinner. This was after the wedding, so nobody was really drinking, but I brought some 4-packs home, and we can try that tonight a little later.
A little later?
Yeah.
Sure. I brought beers for us to try tonight. That's why I was so excited for Tom to be here, because we can't share beers without our master of pour.
Yes. Master of ceremonies.
The master of pour, master of ceremonies back here giving us our product.
It's an interesting story how you got these beers, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I might as well share the whole story. People have been asking questions on my Facebook post. So started out kind of some stories about Lorraine, where we're at, and how I got myself to New York City. Everybody knows we've had some struggles with building out the space in Lorraine. A lot of that deals with just getting equipment and supplies in. I mean, you're looking at, we had to upgrade the electrical system there in Lorraine to 800 amps to update then our whole place generator, so that we don't have this problem in Lorraine, right? And then 3 other 400 amp panels throughout the kitchen, and the rest of the brewery has its own specific panel. So all of those things were on order. Usually they're about 18 months out, which has been the kind of the norm. We knew that when we were doing the Avon location. We ordered that right away. Of course, we let them sell it to somebody else, but we found a supplier who had promised us that they could get us a box reconditioned in 4 months, which means that the guts are new because everybody can find the internal guts, but the box itself with the polymer plastic in there that doesn't melt, or the specific products They're hard to find, but you can recondition the outside box. The new stuff is inside, and it tends to work. They gave us a 4-month lead time, which was about 2 weeks ago. And so that was really the holdup for us to get Lorraine to the next position, was to get those boxes in. And I don't know how much common knowledge it is, but I'll share it here. Our contractor had a motorcycle accident and has been in the ICU, basically brain dead for the past 3 weeks. So not great. Prayers for him, and if there's going to be recovery, a good recovery, whatever that looks like for him and his family as they kind of walk through this together. But in light of that, the first week was kind of like, okay, what do we do now? We don't really know what the situation is. The subcontractors are kind of like, what's happening. Trying to get, once we, everybody got back into work and found what was going on, got into his phone, got into the book of business, and kind of figured out who was where and what, contacted the electrical supplier, and when we picked the boxes up, they're supposed to be ready to be in. And the supplier said, well, I didn't hear from the contractor last week or the week after that, so I sold it to somebody else.
Oh, no.
So we're like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, we can't wait. So we called everybody we knew. I worked for the vocational school, so I literally called every single supplier in the tri-state area and around.
So you have some contacts.
Contacts at least. There was a place in Wisconsin that was going to be able to help us out. And the story was we heard of a company that does a lot of selling on eBay, but they're a legit supply company that's in Staten Island, New York, and got a hold of him. He said, yeah, I have a reconditioned box, exactly what you need. I can do this for you. You can have it ready pretty much right away if you want it. I said, we'll see you in 8 hours.
I'll be there, bro. Yeah.
Hopped in the ABC van and off I went to New York, man. And so stayed the night just across the river in New Jersey. A really cool hotel. Went to a brewery on the way out. Brought some beers tonight from a brewery there in Jersey, Departed Souls.
Okay.
Brewing company right in New Jersey City, right, just right across the water. So got to do that. Took the train into downtown, hung out in Manhattan for a little bit, got a slice, and came back. And the next morning went to Carlos Bakery and then back down to pick up the.
I was following your escapades.
When I picked up the panels and then headed back and stopped at a brewery on the way home, just on the border of PA, which was Two Rivers, which is actually pretty cool. I don't think that they did a great job of marketing the cool logo they have for themselves, because it looks like the colonialists and the Native Americans kind of in the Two Rivers right there. And so, but it was a cool little place. Food looked great. The place was just really, really old. I put pictures on Facebook page. I tagged Lorraine too, so you can see that on Lorraine Brewing Company Facebook page. But I brought beers back for that, so we have a chance to try.
We get some unique check-ins tonight, I feel like.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was one of the ones of beers. I was like 1 out of 5 at the time. So newer beers to try. We got 3 to partake in this evening from Departed Souls. Love that place because it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle brewery. What? Yeah, man. So that was how they marketed themselves. All their swag was the turtles and
how do they get away with that?
Well, that's Departed Souls, right? That's kind of the whole Ninja Turtle thing. And so, I mean, it's a take on it. So it's a hop head with the turtle bandanas, right? And their tanks were all labeled that way too. So they had like Michelangelo and on the lines, so Donatello.
Nice.
So it was a cool little place. They had a spoken word going on at night and had a pint and a flight and got some swag and brought some beers home to try.
Cool.
So headed my way back. Quick turnaround, but panels are there. They're installed today, and they're going to start running wires. And honestly, that's just we're on the in the red zone.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm sorry to hear that you had to make that trip. I'm even more sad that your contractor had that accident.
Yeah, not good. Not good for him, for sure.
Yeah. So BlabberMalt Show is thinking about you.
Yeah, man. All right.
So Larry, what'd you get up to this weekend?
Well, there was a brew fest in Lorraine. Did you get to that?
That's correct.
Oh, we didn't go, man.
We didn't go?
No.
Holy crap, they changed the whole thing. They took it from the pavilions out into the lawn.
Yep.
Had a decent band right in the pavilion thing, and there was lots and lots of people there. All the beer we took was drank really quickly. and it seemed like all the brewers ran out of their beers, so we had a lot more people. It felt like it was a little bit bigger than last year. I don't know if it was or not with the numbers, but there was a lot of people that were there. Redhead Cider House, Mattis was there. Franklin showed up. Most of the people that are normally your Mufflehead showed up, and they had some outstanding beers. They got their first brewer back.
Oh, nice.
So Dan Jordan came back and joined Muffleheads again, and he makes some outstanding beers. If you guys ever want to try his Kolsch, it's amazing.
Yeah, I want to get them on the show.
We can talk to Dan. He's a pretty good guy. You have to go out there to Muffleheads if you can find it in the woods, man.
That's Wakeman, right?
Yeah, that's out of Wakeman.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Craig's idea was, to have a Lorraine-centric brew fest, and he came into the brewery after he did the announcement with Chris down at Bascule, and we had some wires cross. Nothing came to us. I sent a bunch of emails to him, and in the meantime, we had 2 events this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Saturday we had the Southtown Music Festival in Medina, and Tom was out of town. My ride.
Yeah, man, Tom, you picked the right time to go on vacation, man. You missed the whole blackout.
Man, missed my reliever back there. My man behind the beer scene, Tom and Maria, do all the work for us on that. But my sons play varsity football here in Avon, and so they were scrimmaging Massillon on Saturday.
Okay.
And I am not missing that.
Yeah.
To go to a beer show, so we had to miss the new version of the Lorraine Brewfest this year, but.
You should show up next year. So Sunday we had a thing at our brewery that was Pitchers for Blue, or police pitchers.
Oh, nice.
And there's a guy that does fundraising. It's a nonprofit organization. He's got a gun raffle. I think they still have a few tickets of that left. And what they do is they donate for police pitchers. And one of our guests came in and asked us about it. And was like, yeah, we put up a lot of gift baskets, had a DJ. There was quite a few people there that Sunday. It was a pretty nice thing. They catered themselves, and you came in, and there was chicken fingers and all kind of different food.
Nice.
I was brewing, so I was like running around like a chicken without fingers.
Oh, that deserves a
dumb chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that I almost texted you today and asked if you'd bring one of those peach cobbler beers down, because boy, that was fantastic.
The peach wit.
The peach wit.
Yeah.
No, the bottle, the barrel aged.
Oh no!
Oh,
that's mine, man.
That's why I didn't want to pull the whole, hey, bring us a specialty item down, but.
Yeah.
Well, we sipped on one of those the other day. And
stuff's rough, man. It's high alcohol.
It's fantastic.
That'll get you where you need to go.
Quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick. What was that ABV on that one?
I don't know. It's up there past 12, but that's why I keep it in the back room.
Solid. So, yeah, man, we appreciate you coming back in. I know we had a week off. Really going to spend some time cracking some beers together, really having a nice opportunity to talk to you about in-depth conversations on beer, brewing, and all the bull crap.
Let's do that right now.
Let's do it.
It's time for the Vorloff.
So what beer you want to try first?
Well, I'm going to leave it up to Tommy, but I brought 2 of the... you didn't look at them yet?
The cooler?
Oh, my gosh.
No, I haven't looked at it yet.
Vacation, late, and wasn't ready to pour beers and time rolls.
So just to recap, we have Larry from ESP Brewing here, and we're gonna get in depth on the 3 Bs here with him.
I think the Mexican lager, right? Yeah, we have 2 of those, so we can have some big pours of that. It's a nice lower ABV beer.
Yeah.
See, I was looking at your paperwork, and I see mash in and Vorloff in the boil, and I thought we were going to talk about actually making beer.
No.
We could.
No,
We
that's all right.
certainly could. Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did the other day at your place. That was a very
whatever. I have a lot of fun
informal-
doing that back there.
informational
So I have
session.
a new seller person, and she thinks she's like to join the Pink Boots,
Oh, nice.
Okay.
and she has a bachelor's degree in the art of science or something like that, and we're gonna see if we should figure it out and maybe make some great beers. She's already talking about honey a lot.
Oh, honey?
Yeah, she
She's
wants
not
to make
calling you
something
honey,
with
is
honey. No, that's my wife.
That's what I mean. Wasn't your wife is brewing?
No, she wouldn't brew.
Why didn't know? You said someone honey
He
and
just drinks it out of the fridge.
She drinks it out the fridge, yeah.
That's good. So talking about brewing, a lot of the questions we ask the same people are really what our audience and what we want to know. I think we touched upon it a little bit the other day, but you have an extensive career outside of the brewing world. So again, let's talk about that. Really, kind of your origin story and how that led you to get into brewing.
So I started as a guy in construction. Then I started becoming a welder, and I became a welder fitter. I started working on a lot of different things. I could pretty much weld the crack of dawn. So I was doing this, but the whole time I was also going to college and learning about biology, genetics, and microbiology. CLSC is a program at LCC I suggest people to get into. It's called the Clinical Laboratory Science Curriculum. And that'll put you in a laboratory environment, and you'll learn a lot of stuff, and you can make some great money in that career. It's something that I suggest a young person to do because it's you're guaranteed work anywhere you go.
Was this when you were in your 20s?
I started back to college when I was in my late 20s.
Okay.
So I took a 10-year vacation in Florida.
I know how that goes.
Found an ex-wife and a couple kids.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then, going to college and getting into the CLSC program, it all kind of blended together, and I kind of understood more about plumbing, electrical, and stainless steel, and concrete, and everything I needed to know in order to build a brewery and then manufacture beer correctly, because you need kind of like that microbiology kind of thing, and chemistry helps a lot.
Did you know that's the direction you were going? Had you already got into craft beer?
I got into wine. I started making copious amounts of wine at home.
I tried making wine once, and it was awful.
Got to let it sit for a year.
Yeah,
Put it in
I
the
couldn't
corner
do
like
that.
a stepchild and forget about it.
I drank it, and
But somebody bought me a
yeasty.
kit.
That's two stepchild conversations.
One little boxes
Oh yeah,
of a hef.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll make it, and had a can of stuff that you put in and some hops, and I followed the directions and boiled everything, and then I was like, that was really stupid simple, and it's not exactly what I want. I want more of a Blue Moon. So the Blue Moon, I got a hold of real grain, and then I started making a lot of big grain batches over and over and over again. And
You feel like
it became
since beer is a
it became an addiction
yes
to brew beer.
Yeah.
It does.
Because
And it's a quicker turnaround. You can
than wine.
yeah.
Wine takes a year.
Yeah, beer
Burn,
you can
you know?
if you make a mistake, you fix it, and in a year you can make a lot of beer.
A lot of
batches,
beer, yeah. You can make a lot of batches. So while I was working at the hospital, I turned around and I started making beer every night after I found out I kind of wanted to go in that direction. So I took about 45 days where I went home every day, and I made a different beer.
Yeah.
And I had lots of carboys.
5 gallons?
5 gallons.
That's a lot
So
of beer, bro.
Well, I would dump it out if it was bad and I messed up or whatever. But
Yeah.
if I found something I really liked, then we'd keg it up. And
Now,
that's
is
how
this
Low
in your
Malicious came around.
30s? 20?
No,
late
it's a little
20s?
later.
Okay.
Because I really started brewing beer. I can't tell you my age. Yeah, probably about 42, something like that. And then it kind of became a hobby and an obsession. And then as my architect told me when I was planning the building, he says, this is the most expensive hobby I think I've ever seen.
Yes.
And it is.
We've told you before that brewing beer can be one way or the other, right? But this beer we're drinking now, before we get into that, this is Departed Souls, something corporate, called their Out of Office Pour. It's a Mexican-style lager. This is a collaboration beer between Departed Souls and Something Corporate, the brewery, to celebrate their reunion and benefit to the Dear Jack Foundation. So nothing says out of office and no more bad days in liquid form better than a crisp, crushable lager with a hint of lime and a touch of sea salt.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's some
there.
shirts that were this out of office, and it's kind of like their thing. So, got a few of these to try.
Nice.
I think it's nice and crushable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers to that, everybody.
Oh, that's tasty.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So this hobby, as we've heard from most people, I don't think I've had anyone on the show that just started and still uses buckets and doesn't kind of dive into the project. Either they just are all in, or they just kind of just don't do it much anymore. But it is, it's a really fun thing to do. You get yourself in fun. Find a finished product. Do things like Dave when he was making beer, taking it to people's weddings, events,
it's
fun
a lot
things.
of work.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So, Larry, when you won't tell us your age, so
You got to, man. How you not?
40s, you're
50-something,
getting
yeah.
okay. Yeah, we're about the same
Halfway
age. so-
dead. Yeah, there it is.
Halfway dead.
So when you're in your early 40s, internet is around, and you kind of. I mean, I'll tell you, I started in college, and there was no internet, and you just had Charlie Papazian's Complete Joy Homebrewing, and that was it.
Right on. There's other books out there. You just didn't find them.
Yeah. I kind of got out of it when I got back into it, and the internet's around. I'm like, let me just see what's out there. I'm like, oh my God, so much innovation in ingredients and equipment.
Beersmith itself, Beersmith itself, is you can do all the calculations.
Yeah,
you don't have to do them at all. You can.
Yeah.
It does it all for IBUs.
It's great.
And so,
Yeah, and it's easy to adjust a recipe. Oh, I got 5 gallons. I want to make 10 now.
So it really is.
There it is.
Right.
What's your efficiency?
What's your IBUs?
Here you
know,
go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeast has changed so
neat.
much.
It has. It hasn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
There are some genetic things going on in the background. They're coming up with other things like the 99 bananas and Bonanza and all this other stuff.
Did you use that, right?
I used the Bonanza. I didn't use
Gotcha.
99 bananas yet. I've been looking for that, and I'm trying to figure out how small I can get and how big I can make my batch.
Sure. Because we had that Bonanza,
Right.
and that made that heft really good.
Yeah,
Right,
with the
that-
blend. Yeah.
With the blend, with
Yeah.
the 58
Yeah.
and the Bonanza, it really made a difference.
Yeah, it definitely popped.
Yeah.
It was
It's tasty. People like that beer.
yeah, like I said on the show, I think it was very much like a banana runt
Yes.
in a good way.
Without the sweetness.
Yeah,
Like a little
just-
candy.
yeah. Like it was just banana for you. You sipped it, you're like, okay, that's more than just banana teased out of a Hefeweizen yeast. It was
Right.
definitely purposeful esters being thrown from that yeast.
Purposeful.
Yeah.
The temperature.
Yeah, that's-
that's a big
I
thing.
think that's
you
a
know?
tribute to the way you treat the yeast, and you pitch it at the right rate and the right. Did you say 70-30?
I think it's 60-40.
60-40, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, about that time, so let's go back to your 20s, right? When you're thinking about going back to school and having beverages, right? What kind of beer were you drinking back in that day?
Well, here it is. I moved to Florida when I was 18 years old, 3 days after graduation from Lorraine High, because the legal drinking age in Florida was 18. That's one of the main
That's
reasons
why?
I moved to Florida.
All right.
You heard it here, right here.
I can get Jack Daniels. I can get scotches. It was like wonderful. But when I was down there, I fell in love with a couple beers. One was a Foster Lager in the 32-ounce oil can.
The big
Another one
Foster?
was St. Polly Girl.
Oh, yeah.
But then Samuel Adams came out with Cherry Wheat and
that's a good one.
craft beers here and there. There wasn't really a lot to grab though.
Mm-hmm.
It really sucked. There was no breweries in Florida whatsoever there was Budweiser. I lived right off Bush Boulevard. You can go down there and spend like $14, go to a Bush Bash and drink all the Bud Light you wanted. Or they had Bud Dry.
Ooh.
I drank Bud Dry for a long time and it seemed like they had dried it out.
Yeah.
Like attenuated it out till it was almost zero.
Here's a little
Bud Ice.
No.
little sidebar on the Foster's oil cans. If you go on the Monsters of Rock cruise, you get the drink package.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't get the drink package and you still want to get banged up, Foster's oil can is the same price as a 12-ounce beer. That's where your value's at. You get the Foster's oil cans. Get tore up.
I can speak
On the
Australian.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Foster's is Australian for
Beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Hit that. Badum ching.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah,
a bad dad joke today.
yeah. You got to use a fake accent, though, I feel like.
Should we try it?
It's up to you.
I'm not going to do it. We're going to save myself. I just went out on the limb for that
Go
one.
like Canadian. I can't do like, take off hoser.
No, not going to try it.
Take off, hoser.
Not going to do it.
So,
go ahead.
young Larry is down there in Florida chasing the bush light. getting tore
No,
up.
it was Bud Light. I
Bud
was
Light.
chasing Bush too, but
Yeah,
Chasing
another one.
St. Paul.
Another one.
Boom.
Oh man.
Chasing St. Pauli girl in Bush Light.
Yeah,
it's right on, man.
but at some point, you
What year was
discover
that?
something better.
Yeah, I really didn't get into heavy craft beer until I came back to Ohio, and I went down to Great Lakes Brewing Company and met a man named Dan Conway and his brother Pat. And me and Dan started having conversations when I worked at the hospital down there. And it was really unique because they were kind of giving of information, and it was really nice to talk to them about craft beer. And I started making a little bit of, hooch.
Ooh.
And then they really liked me for some reason. I don't know. Must have been the hooch.
Must have been the hooch.
But, I talked to some of their brewers like Luke Purcell. I had a lot of beers with that man.
Yeah.
And, they told me some ins and outs. And then young Larry would read books that were, I don't know, you'd find them somewhere, world books and stuff like that, people that had went to the Steibel Institute and went to the brewing institutions. And they would then sell their books after they've done all their coursework and passed. And I would try to pick up all the pro books that I could.
Oh wow.
And then having the pro books and knowing the chemistry was kind of gave me an idea. I was like, yeah, I could figure this out. This is like a course that I don't have to take because I have all the information that I could use in order to understand what they do professionally.
Basically auditing the class with these textbooks.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
mean-
that's smart.
You can learn how to be a banker. They just ain't going to give you a job because you don't have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
What do
true.
they do in the movies,
What?
right?
They do, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Have you seen the, was it Pursuit of Happiness?
I think so.
Yeah, he didn't have any. He just had the brain. Did the Rubik's Cube.
Right.
He brewed some hooch, and he figured out how to be a brewer.
Well, kind of. It was more than that. And I went and visited a lot of people in their
Yeah.
breweries and tried to figure it out.
Oh, that's great. So we would say, and through the course of that time, you mentioned like Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. Was there a specific beer where you were like, okay, no more Bush, no more St. Pauli Girl. I got to find what this is and then move in that direction?
It
there
was
one?
like Christmas ale.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I love Christmas ale. I actually had a mug at home that I would not pour anything into that mug except for Christmas ale for years.
Was it the Christmas ale goblet?
No, I have. It's a giant 44-ounce pewter.
Damn.
And I take it down to the GLBC and I say, hey, man, give me a beer. And
Yeah.
they'd be like, that's more than 16 ounces. And I was like, no, it's not. It's only 16.
It's thick-walled.
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 And good time, man.
Should I?
Hit that button.
Yeah.
So do you guys brew a Christmas ale on your own?
We make a beer called Xmas. It's Sam-X backwards, or Sam-X is our beer. Xmas is backwards. And it's a Christmas beer, but I prefer not to put all the really powerful cinnamon and nutmeg and all this stuff in the beer them beers are kind of gross to me because they're overpowering.
It's
in
like
flavor.
a candle.
It's like a candle.
Yeah.
So I prefer a lighter beer with enough notes in there that you can taste everything. But the real point is trying to hide that ABV 7.5 behind enough flavor without overpowering the flavor. Because I feel a lot of guys are like, oh, we're going to make a 7.5 beer and we're going to put all this stuff in it. And like Southern Tier puts figs in their beer and other things that are in there. It's a nice beer, 8.2, 8.3. It does the job.
Sure.
But do I want to do that? Like Oktoberfest, I'd rather do a Marzen or
Sure.
something else that's a little different. Because this is how I look at beer brewing. With you're a brewer and you're a brewer. We all make tomato soup, right? So what do you put in your tomato soup that makes it good for you and whoever?
Basil.
How about you?
A spoon.
Come on, you're a chef,
Spoon.
right?
I don't eat tomatoes, man. Nightshades.
Nightshades.
Nightshades,
Right, you can
damn.
put peppers and...
Yeah, peppers.
So I like to put chocolate and hot pepper in mine because it just gives it a chili-like flavor. And so we're all making IPAs. You might use a different hop than I
Sure.
do. but it's an IPA. And when we go back and look at that, it's an IPA. And then we're all kind of like sous chefs that are making the same dish, but we're presenting it a little bit differently to the public, and the public is making a choice saying, wow, I like that IPA better than this other IPA because he's doing this. So it's kind of like that's our artistic, that's how we're artists. And we're able to and be able to make a beautiful product that's different than everybody else.
Hmm.
So you make some fantastic beers. This is fantastic.
Thank you, man.
Should buy bigger stainless and make more.
Yeah.
Oh, the missus just took a drink on that one.
Yeah, she's like,
She chugged that beer.
Yeah, this is going to cost $400.
get Larry out of here.
The reason I asked about the Christmas ale is because, as a prototypical style for our area, Northeast Ohio Christmas ale, right? You're drinking that down at the pub. Of course, everybody talks about how it changes every year, and of course it does a little bit, but, it's a pretty pungent.
Sure, it's a hammer.
Yeah. It's a hammer. So that's good.
Yeah. So you're brewing maybe a little bit more of a winter warmer kind of style.
The Sam X.
Yeah.
If you ever heard of the beer Fesvig,
Yeah,
that's a Sam Adams beer.
that's Sam Adams. Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the idea that I had,
Yeah.
and I didn't replicate Fesvig, but I made a beer in the style that it's not so dark and it's kind of it's balanced a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
kind of a sessionable Christmas ale.
Sure. I mean, I'm trying to think in my head. I've had most of your beers. I don't think I've had that one. So I'm kind of excited to stick
Sam
around
X,
come out this winter and check it out.
Sam X is cool.
I'll have to add that in our Christmas ale tasting this year.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
All right.
Because we do that here. We have a big, humongous Christmas ale tasting extravaganza. And
Really?
oh, it gets crazy. It did
Yeah,
last
we
year.
had to have a Christmas annex out
We
there.
had an annex out there, and
Another table and some more people.
Dave was
We had a
chanting,
camera.
I say Christmas.
You say beer. Yeah.
Christmas. It was fun. You went back and watched the show.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
And
look back.
halfway through the night, it was couldn't really tell what he was chanting.
Yeah, I don't know. I got confused.
Did you guys ever do the pumpkin ones then?
We did a pumpkin.
We
one.
did. We did a pumpkin
I
tasting.
bought 12 pumpkins one year, and Michelle and I went down, and she blind tasted me on them. I probably got 9 of them right,
Yep.
3 of them. The beer that really impressed me the year that we did it, and like you said, Christmas ales will change year to year.
Sure.
Well, so will pumpkin beers.
Yep.
Maybe not pumpkin, but the rest of them will kind of change. And there was a beer called Johnny Rails Pumpkin Ale from Erie Brewing Company. And this beer was just freaking hammer on, dude. It was so good to drink.
Yeah.
It was delicious. And I think that made them a little bit bigger, and they grew, and it kind of fell off. So we took a trip to Pennsylvania last year, beginning of this year, I don't remember. But we found Johnny Rails in a little grocery store that was close to Erie, PA. And I picked up another 6-pack and brought it home, and I was like, I should have bought a case. It was that
So
good
good.
again.
How so was it hammer on?
It was just, it had the pumpkin and it had
Yeah.
the spices, but it wasn't overwhelming. And it was more like an ale to drink.
Okay.
And it makes you kind of sick when you get too much spices in a beer after a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. You don't want to. Yeah. I do like pumpkin, though, to be honest.
Already out. We'll get you a new glass.
Is it already out?
It's already
That's
out.
sad.
Out and on draft.
I haven't really even gotten any of the fest beers yet.
I will say that almost
Oktoberfest.
everybody that the big dogs in distribution have their pumpkin ales out already.
And their Oktoberfest.
Yeah, we're just going to release ours this week on Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I haven't
It
started
kills me.
mine. I like to release mine about September 10th when Oktoberfest
When it's supposed to happen?
happens.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's one of those things. If you don't, people like to drink them and let it sit. It's crazy. It really is. I mean, we don't distribute yet, so at all.
Right.
So we don't have to worry about timing on shelves too much. So,
Right.
with that being said, I gotta ask you a quick question. So, I'm not from around Northeast Ohio, but I hear it often, and I'm from Southern Ohio, which typically has a pretty big Appalachian accent.
Got
right?
all your teeth, too.
I know.
You got a purty mouth.
Birdie mouth, boy.
Got yourself a purty mouth there, boy. I've heard the people, you've said pumpkin. Say it again.
Pumpkin. Pumpkin?
You don't say it that way. When you
Pumpkin.
talk,
Pumpkin.
you say pumpkin, which I believe is a very northern Ohio way to say
So
pumpkin.
when you heat water, what happens?
It boils.
It balls.
Oh,
Shit. I'm from the South, remember, for 12 years. I still got a little bit of
Okay.
an accent.
that's
I
fine.
might not say things correctly, but
I'm just double checking. I remember the South thing. There you
I
go.
do have a banjo.
Do you play
Yeah.
the banjo?
Sometimes.
Man, I'll bring my guitar down and we'll just pick away.
Yeah, we can do
You know where you go
Deliverance. It don't matter.
to learn the skin flute? The best school?
Right here.
Right here. Club Radon.
We've heard that. It's Club Radon. Skin flute.
So what is this?
This is the
Kveki
Give me nothing on
boy.
that, man. Nothing.
Kveki Bogan. Departed Souls Brewing Company. Definitely not gluten-free beer. Indian Pale Ale brewed with Australian hops, fermented with Nordic.
Kveki
yeast.
Okay. How do you
How
say
do you
it?
say it?
I said Kvek.
Kvek.
I'm not saying I'm saying it right, but
I bought some of this yeast and I was playing with it, but I've never used it yet because I think it goes
puppy
too
dog
fast.
on the front. So you're a yeast. How would you describe to somebody who's watching the show this new phenomenon with the Kvike yeast?
It ferments really fast and you can turn beer around in 5 days. It doesn't give you any hop or yeast flavor. It doesn't have a lot of esters. I consider it there's a KV or KB 97 yeast that's used for bottling. Whenever you bottle beer, you put a little bit of yeast in your beer and put some priming sugar in there in your bottles and you cap them, put them in the closet and ignore them for 3 weeks, bring them out. That 97 doesn't add any flavors to your beer, but it adds carbonation to the beers.
Yep.
That's how I feel about Quebec.
So you can just turn the heat up and
Well, Quebec
spun
just
it and be done.
yeah, it rolls out a bunch of beer real quick, and it's good for some beers if you're going to make a real high IPA with lots of IBUs.
Yep.
You don't want a lot of esters off your yeast, and you can do that with Quebec because it turns it over real fast. But I don't know about desaddle any production of things that are going on. What's your clarity going to be like? Do you need something in your beer in order to clarify it?
Sure.
If you want it clarified,
I mean,
So
this
I-
is hazy.
you got to use a gelatin or something, or more Irish moss, and what's going to happen with the yeast? Does it grab a hold of proteins differently? I've never really looked into it that
Sure.
much,
I haven't either. We don't
so
use it.
I kind of
so.
scare away from it.
So I
Other
use
people use it.
for that the IPA brewed for the wedding
Yep.
this past weekend. I used the Kvike Voss Lalamond, the
Sorry,
It's chewy.
dried yeast, and it is about this cloudy. It's I got a keg in there. We can tap it
I would love to.
and try it.
I'm not a hophead.
This
I am.
yeah, I
sorry.
love hops. Yeah,
This is
But
licky,
yeah, I
licky
mean-
sticky.
to go to
It's sticky.
I chilled it to 80 degrees, pitched the yeast in like 4 hours. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's starting to go, man.
I know.
And in 3 days, it was 90% attenuated. I was like, wow. I had to. We were down to the wire. I got to get this beer ready.
Right on.
And then
Oh, it's fast.
It's-
It's fast.
I know
crazy
Carlos uses it down at Unplugged.
I think he used it in a couple of his beers. Yeah.
I'm not saying everything, but I know he's used it with some success.
Yeah, he has. I just don't know too much about it, so I haven't read that much into it. I'd like to read more about it.
We kind of stick to the old school kind of, I mean, not old school, but Cali 1
yeah.
variants.
Well, sometimes you want a little bit of that, those esters in your beer.
I am German,
Yeah,
so I like really old school stuff.
that's good.
Well, Kvike is old school. Nordic,
Nordic.
old school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Them people too white for me, man.
Wow.
Uh,
So all of these things led you to a point, you're training in the medical field. which you still do some work in the lab.
Right.
Brought you to a point where you had a really big, strong desire to brew. You brewed 45 days in a row. Decided to move in that direction. You talked about building your most expensive brew house hobby in the world. What was that? What prompted that? Right? What prompted the decision to go professional? We talked about it a little bit at your place, but what was that?
I've had this American dream at owning my own business, and I've looked in maybe having a weld shop or doing something else, and it's not that I landed on beer on purpose. It's just that I found that I make beer and people really like it, and I've tried with other individuals in order to make a brewery go.
Yep.
And every time I tried that, the individuals were not compatible with me.
Sure.
So I said, I'll try to go it on my own, And when I went on my own, I found all of these people that were very accepting and very willing to help me out, donate time or be a partner.
Sure.
And people believed in the dream that I had that I could actually do this. So I looked all over. I looked at a lot of buildings. I almost bought a different building, but the funding was wrong. And then I finally decided I'll just build my own building.
Sure.
And we started going headstrong into this building, and, the wife was kind of freaked out. I understand that completely.
As wives do.
And, she's like, what are you doing?
Just chugging again back there.
I'm going to build a building. So I got all my plans together with an architect and approached the political body that I had to talk to about building that building. And it was really funny that I got all the permissions that I needed, and then this COVID pandemic hit. And you were talking about delays in your electrical. We were supposed to get a box, and we had to wait 5 months for it. And I had to wait 5 months for my garage doors. Wow. So we had a 10-month delay between two things at two different times in order to get the building up and running. So the bank was like, hey, what are you doing? You're taking too long to build your building, and you only got a year to do it. And I was like, well, COVID. And they kind of blessed me and said, I'll give you another year.
Nice.
And they extended my deadline to get the building finished. And then we worked real hard and got everything knocked out. So it took us a lot longer to build it because of COVID. Mm-hmm. But once COVID was over, it seemed like then we could open our doors, and we didn't have any restrictions on people and masks and all this other stuff. So we're kind of blessed about that, But really, to do it on my own after helping other people open breweries and work on breweries, to actually open the door and people come in and enjoy what you've made and the space that you've made is really exciting. It's a really beautiful thing. It's a community center, I feel, Yeah,
I would agree, just based on the people who were there and the fact that even on our last video at your location, the names of the people who are the numbers on the Growler
Club,
Growler Club, which is neat. I am.
And you knew the numbers,
people, right? We were.
That's number 49. This is the guy.
Yeah, Avon Brewing Company and my personal family, where I was the founding member and supporter of Bascule, and
right on.
We had the opportunity and the blessing to be one of your original and forever founding Growler members.
You got to take advantage of that on St. Patty's Day, man.
Yeah.
I cook a lot of corned beef, and we got eggs in the morning.
Maybe I'll come for the morning. Yeah, kegs and eggs. Okay. Done.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people stay for the day.
Yeah, we'll be at ESP for that. That'll be fun. Done.
Yeah. So you open the doors, people come in, they're loving your beer. You're thinking to yourself, this is a good idea. This is...
No, like, what the did I do,
what
man?
What did I do?
This is for you, right? This is what we all needed when we had this moment right here. This is a can down by the river. So a double dry hopped India Pale Ale, grab the world by the tail and enjoy a steady diet of Citra hops and Galaxy and Cascade. So there you go. So yeah, we needed a motivational speaker to tell us that if we did this, we'd be living in a van down by the river back in the day. But
And still working a day job, right?
yeah, both of us still work a day job.
Yeah.
So
You didn't buy any hefts or anything while you were out, just IPAs? Man, you got to learn it.
that's not
Yeah,
true. What do you mean? Look, this is a Mexican lager.
Ah, I see.
So they had a Mexican lager and they had IPAs
Yeah.
in packages.
Right.
I got a. Yeah.
I was telling you,
I
everybody gets mad about it, but that's what sells.
I was at.
White
I went.
lagers,
I got a
Pils.
couple of 4-packs from Clag when I was in there last week. Got a Pilsner. You
See?
know?
Pilsners or double dry hopped bangers. Crispy
Yep.
boys and bangers. I love them. Let me see. So I had these on draft, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh,
That's tasty.
that's dang.
that first one, so none of the beers taste the same in the cans.
Right.
I kept them cold the entire time. Brought a
Yeah.
cooler with me.
Date on this?
I don't know. Different. The first one was this one right here. This the Vike one was way hoppier in the can than it was on site. This one is way less hoppier.
Really?
That was very hazy, very juicy.
Yeah, Galaxy.
Oh,
There's
I
that
still
dankiness.
taste juicy in there, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like the hazy juicy, versus the opposite. And this was a little bit more clear. Interesting how it kind of.
Well, it's a living product.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
These aren't bad beers. It's just
Oh, that's
surprising
lovely.
to me.
Right.
Having them on draft and then.
It changes from the can
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to the keg. And that's, I like keg beer better. But, when I'm at home, it's canned or bottled. I prefer bottled over canned.
See, I prefer
Every
cans
time.
now.
Really?
I do. I prefer canned soda, canned water, canned beer.
You like the cans?
I like the cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Boy.
We got Bush, Light, and cans.
Boom.
Boom.
There it is.
And we
Yeah.
had St. Pauli girl, which is the Haktui person. So bring that in full circle.
Do we need to see that?
No, we don't. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to do it today.
All right.
So
You're the boss.
can Tom grab one of your Clegs for the next round?
Yeah.
And while he does that,
They're actually in the fridge in the
one of the things
freezer.
that we drank your beer last time, and we chit-chatted about a lot of these things on service level. I appreciate you giving us some in-depth conversation today on that. But I think it'd be nice to really tell all of our guests, not only in BlabberMalt World, but also at the Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News, where we're streaming live there as well. Really, what is your brewery's vision and philosophy, right? Like, what is your connection to Amherst, or even just our area in general? And what is unique about your beer, and why is that relevant to the people who come in your doors?
That's like 7 questions.
Yeah, I wrote them down for you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, what's your brewery vision and philosophy? What's your connection to your local area?
Local is a connection to my area.
Yeah.
So we have a philosophy about not being so corporate. I don't want to sell my beer in cans to Walgreens or Giant Eagle or Heinen's or whoever.
For this reason.
Huh?
For this reason.
Well, the true story is where is my money going to go after I sell it to them people? And it might piss some other, the 1%ers off or whatever you want to say. But what I'm saying is we need to keep our money local and pay cash for things once in a while.
Ammunition.
If somebody owns a
cash.
mom and pop store, they get my 6-packs or they get a keg in their bar or whatever, and we're going to slowly do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not big enough to really put a lot of beer on the market because we like to sell it at our house.
Sure.
But, a lot of people are pushing to get a Giant Eagle, and you're making, pennies on the dollar.
Sure.
That you're doing all this work and running your machinery into the ground, and you're canning the hell out of everything, and there's liability there as well. So if we can get beer slowly out there and let our local community support us, that's the biggest thing for me. I don't want to be I'm not Great Lakes. I'm not Fatheads.
Sure.
I'm not nobody. I'm just a little brewery on the south side of Amherst that's trying to make good beer and trying to leave a house there for the community to have their birthday parties and their, police picture gatherings and, whatever
Celebrations of
political party.
lives and all the fun things people do, right?
Oh yeah, that's what's the most beautiful thing about having a brewery is, man, you get to meet these wonderful people. And I want to have my 6-year-old daughter's birthday there, and I was like, well, she can't drink beer.
Yeah, but I can.
Okay.
No. We've had baby
I said,
showers,
fine, yeah.
baby showers, wedding showers. We had a wedding. Now, of course, the event center is different, but we had a wedding
Right
at
on.
ABC and
Right.
celebration of lives and wakes. And
You're going to get
you
so
name
much
it.
more of that with the event center.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's fun to have it in our local little place, right? When people come in and get packed out and they have a celebration of life ceremony. We close down for family and they pack it out, and it's a moment where you share life with somebody over a pint, over some food, and it really makes a huge difference.
Right, it does.
You know, another event you can have at a brewery is a celebration of the Barnstorm long shot competition winning.
We did that,
And
That's
we
how-
did that,
and
and
that's how I
that's
met
how we
him. So all of the life's wonderful triumphs and tragedies. I love that vision, brother. I think that's really important.
I think, another thing about, you get out there, you can some beer and you get it out in the community. I've had beers from smaller breweries that have probably been sitting on a shelf and you buy it and like, oh, this is not supposed to be
Sure, it's kind of
funky.
metallically.
It's gone
right.
sideways. It's a little bit sour.
I got
And-
a
and
plumber's
then
crack
that's-
bottle at my house from Jerome out
Jerome.
there.
Dude,
at,
I used-
Black Box.
Black
Yeah,
Box Brewing
my
Company.
dude.
Dude, I
I've had
love
that bottle.
plumber's crack.
Somebody donated it to the
Do you
brewery.
know
as
that
a
his
thing.
beer is still in hock
Really?
with the distributor after all this time?
No shit.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
insane.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Well, no, I want to talk
Use
about
the
that too. I
foul
think it's
word.
important because I know that you were.
I love me some plumber's crack.
You would.
Okay.
You would. The plumber's crack ale was good.
Yes.
So let's, when you talk about what that means, I'm not sure everybody out there knows exactly what that looks like. This is the Hello Bird West Coast Pilsner
Yes.
from
Sound Clag.
our cocky little Asian guy,
Sandusky.
Ka, the man and his crew. That's a pretty cool can. Get the
Yeah, he's got some good
balls
artwork,
on there.
man.
He does. So, okay. He doesn't do, let's just say one of these people do this, right? So that they make the beer and then they package it, right? So the cost of this right here is about $1, give or take, right?
With the cost of the people doing it.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
And the beer that's in
Yeah.
there.
And the pack tech on top's 24.3 cents, whatever.
It's 19 cents. You're buying at the wrong spot.
Maybe when
Whatever.
stuff went down. Look at you. That's good. So prices are going down. That's a good thing. But all in, you make a 4-pack or 6-pack. You're looking at about $1 a can with labor and all the canning costs and all those
Sure,
things,
sure.
right? So you lose $1 there, right? Which is a significant portion, maybe up to 18%, 15 to 18% of your product right there is in this, right?
Well, what we get to sell it for to a distributor
Is 25%. So if I sell it to One Stop Beverage, right, I have to sell it to them for 25% less than what I would sell it to at my store, right?
Sure, but if you sell a distributor, you're only going to make about 8%.
I'm saying if I just go myself go and take it there, I lost money on the canning it, right?
Right.
18%. I have to sell it to them for 25% less than I'm going to ask them to sell it for to be my prices in my own location. But I have a distributor, right?
It's even
Before
worse,
I do
yeah.
any of that, 33% or so goes to them. So we're looking at 33%, 25%, 18%. What's left?
Like 8%.
8%
Right.
or less.
Got to sell a lot
And
of beer.
that includes that's 8%, but that doesn't even include the cost of the product.
Then it's like volume.
Yeah, volume.
The moral of the story is if you want to
It's a lot.
support your local breweries, go to their tap room and buy beer there.
It really is. And
Go to ESP.
I understand that it is, and people get it. It's why you have to do it out there sometimes, is that people want to go to a grocery store and pick up your beer, and it's kind of that marketing aspect of what you're doing. Right. I think most people who are being successful in that understand that model.
But instead of the distributors, if you take your beer and you self-distribute and you put it at the mom and pop stores,
sure,
the drive-thrus, the gas stations that are locally owned, them people then take the profit from that money instead of the grocery stores and then put that back in the community. They pay
Correct.
for the kids' education. They buy a car. They get their plumbing done, the electrical done.
By locals.
They get their concrete done by some contractor. All the locals benefit from them buying beer locally.
Sure.
And it has to like change in a way, but we still need the grocery stores. No doubt about it.
Or
and
mom and pop stores, doesn't matter. It's just the idea that, when you cut those things out, go to ESP, the money then goes to your family, which then goes back to the community and help those people out.
Right. Think about the cost. Like, you have say you package some beer and you put it out there and you want people to buy it, and it's kind of your write-off for a marketing effort. But I would think if it was me, I would have to go out and say, hey, that beer that I sold to you 6 months ago, is there any of it still on the shelf? Because, man, it's not good anymore. I mean,
that's kind of what happened to Black Box, right?
Well, their distributors locked up their stuff. He got in a fight with his distributor, and they locked it up.
Yeah, I'd kind of make that, like, if I had a distributor, I'd be like, nah, give me back my beer. I'll pitch it and give you new stuff.
Yeah, and so there's another cost. There's all this product that's gone.
But it's about your face, too. Out
sure.
there.
Right,
if you're going out to the public, we're making great beer.
Well, if you go to a number of breweries who hang their hat on distribution, and you look at their dumpster, what do you think you're going to see?
Aluminum
filled with beer
product. Yeah,
right. I mean, they toss the product, and so there's that loss too. So there's a lot involved in all those things. So I love your philosophy. I love the connection to your local area because it is local. You talk about that from the get-go. You've talked about that since you bought that property and went that direction, and it has shown through how you work. In the community, it shows how you take care of people who show up, your guests.
Oh, yeah. We love our
family
members. Yeah, we love our guests that come in. A lot of people come in. We are definitely do the Harvest Host. So if you have a camper, you can challenge Harvest Host for a spot.
Yep.
And I made a parking lot in the back. We could do like 5 campers.
Nice.
And then people come in and they have a real good time because they don't have to drive anywhere. They just go pass out in their camper.
That's a great idea.
And we have the Cleveland
still.
Passport, which is really beneficial. You know that. I'm also on a passport called the Bobcat Trail.
That's right.
I'm one of 28 breweries or something that is, only people that have graduated from Ohio University that opened a brewery are allowed to be on this trail. So it's kind of fun that they
Seems
come
like
in.
a small group.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Got like 3 people. What do you mean?
So I'm in the same group as Jackie O's. But
that's great.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It really is fun when you get people to come in and you try to tell them, hey, there's another passport out there you can get onto, the OU passport. Please sign up and let me compete with these other big dogs out there. But
do you have the sign and the QR code?
We do.
Nice.
There is a lot of breweries in Cleveland, and actually Forest City and Brick and Barrel, or I don't know, maybe Rick at over there.
We are.
You're OU?
No, but one of our people are.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't ask to be on it; they just put us on it.
Right on.
Yeah,
it's awesome, dude.
Pretty close. We're all there's like 5 right in the local vicinity, 5 or 6, really close.
Like 5 out of 6 out of 28.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty neat. Good stuff, man. I appreciate you coming out. Is there anything you want to share with anybody about your space, ESP, what to do, how to come see you, anything coming up with you, anything you want to share with our audience?
Well, we got a barbecue and thing going on at Streetsboro this weekend. Michelle will be out there with her daughter, and she'll be slinging beer. and hopefully that'll be pretty cool with a lot of barbecue. I wish I could go, but they told me I couldn't. I like barbecue, you know?
Not allowed to be around people. I get it.
Barbecue's good.
Barbecue's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any new beers coming out that are noteworthy?
I am kind of behind on brewing, so we have Chicky that's going to come back out. July was a pretty busy month. We got a red ale. McCrookie's is on the way. And we're trying to make a seltzer, but we're going to use a base of honey for our seltzer along with the corn sugar.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So that ought to be interesting.
Nice.
So it's kind of a mixture. I've seen it. I've read about it. So I got about 50 pounds of honey. I'm going to try to mess around with that and play with it. So we should have a honey seltzer. And we're thinking about peach.
God love peaches.
Peaches
Get
and
my
honey.
peaches out in Georgia.
No.
peach thing yet?
Right.
Yeah.
I did ask him about his bringing his peach thing, and he told me it wasn't for me anymore. He wasn't going to waste
Right.
any more bottles on me.
Well, you can buy it as a growler, remember, but you got to come in and ask real nice.
You got to know the secret password.
I do.
Right.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you now?
I do.
Occasionally.
Extra.
As the growler members, they get secret passwords, and there's a tap out there that's a very secret beer.
Ooh, man.
So when we
Happens
put it
to
out
be
there,
early, baby.
yeah.
we've used Jabberwocky, we used Rain Man.
Write these down.
Well, they're past, so you
You're not
can't
gonna-
really use them. No, I'm not going to use them again.
Use them again.
So we got to figure out a new code word for a special beer put
Right.
on there.
We have a handshake.
All right. We do?
No.
Secret
Oh.
handshake.
I'm trying to get people to think that there is that. I'm trying to build up your stuff, man. We have a handshake. It's
You
kind
got
of
a secret-
fun.
Get a
The
secret
growler
hand job.
members know, man.
No. Just come in and fill your growler up with some really great beer made locally in Amherst, ESP
Right on.
Brewing Company. You got to find them on their socials. Get yourself there. If you haven't been there. Pull your camper in. They have good food.
Harvest Host, yeah.
They have good food. They have a big tap list and great atmosphere. Very, like you said, friendly to those who show. It's a very welcoming environment to everybody that comes in. Good place, man. Thanks for coming out today.
I really
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
you guys having me out. Yeah, this BlabberMalt Show is it's unbelievable.
Legit.
Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
it is.
All right, man.
It's time for
So I talked about the quick carb, but I'm going to tell you about. I still haven't got a glycol chiller. I've been talking about this for months. I'm going between the Spike and the Blickman.
That's a big difference.
Are we off?
No,
Yeah.
we're still on, brother.
Oh.
No,
You want a
we're still on.
glycol chiller for how much?
Oh,
This is the thing. How much do you want to chill out?
I probably only need to chill a batch at a time, and
It's
maybe
5 gallons?
10 gallons.
10 gallons.
I might be lagering something at the same time. So
Okay, so check it out.
yeah,
You got a refrigerator?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Pull the
Get a
guts
chill
out.
plate. They're cheap, $45.
Yeah,
Get a little pump.
yeah.
Okay. You got the pump, got the chiller, put it in your freezer or refrigerator or whatever. Put glycol over top of the thing, and you just pump it through. You have a glycol chiller.
I was thinking maybe drill holes in the door of this fridge to put the lines out.
Yeah.
I might do that.
Don't hit
But-
nothing.
Well, the door. I just do the door. There's nothing in the door.
True. But having its own separate glycol chiller is pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. A lot smaller footprint.
Yeah.
So the Spike, it's new on the market, and they've had it's a piece of stainless steel that's bent, and when it comes together, they sealed it with caulk, and then around the bottom it's caulk. And they
Sounds
leak.
like what is it called?
Proprietary.
No, it's proprietism. Whatever you're bent and you're cocked.
Oh no,
I'm just saying, dude.
it's not priapism. That's
Yeah, there it is, priapism.
We're not talking about crooked peckers here.
No, it's bent carrots.
it's Peyronie's. That's Peyronie's
Oh,
disease.
it's Peroni's.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna have crooked pecker on the show in a little bit.
Yeah, they finally
not
responded
today.
to us. They responded to us.
Yeah.
We're getting them on the show.
Yeah.
And then you always have a bum and beaver, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we should not have given him this next beer, which is one of their specialties, 1 million dongs. I mean, 1 million dong.
Another one.
This is
Might be a happy beaver.
This is their Wawaka and Nelson Sauvin Hazy. I love all of this.
1 million dong is
Fantastic.
nice. So, anyways, but both of them, the Spike and the Blickman's been on the market for a little bit longer.
There.
They recently
The new Nelson.
They recently upgraded their
Nelson.
compressor to a half horse. Blickman did.
Okay.
That's big.
So now you can have up to 6 controllers on that thing. I will never brew or drink that much beer by myself. But I don't know, man. The scale is kind of leaning towards Blickman at this point. I also just on the Facebook users group for Spike, some people are talking about there's another leak with this new batch that it's leaking something else. It's not glycol. It's got to be refrigerant. And that's not good, man. That is not good. So
It's not condensation.
no, it's
Just getting moist.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Tom.
All right, it's 8:11. You could give us out past 8 o'clock. We get kind of crazy.
I know.
So I think when you have these opportunities to be able to produce more beer, I think you probably would, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Or use it to lager longer,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm not saying you wouldn't use 3 in general, because you could use 1 to kind of chill down, 1 to lager, and then use that for 1 or 2 fermentations.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's
not that bad.
It's got like a 7-gallon reservoir. So.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to try to lager, then now you're talking about solenoids. And you're going to talk about, because you want to keep this guy over here at 64 degrees and this guy over here at 54 degrees.
Well, which
the one does.
They're immersible pumps.
Yeah.
So there's no solenoid. It's just a controller that turns the
off
pump
and
on.
on.
Turns the pump on.
Off and on. So if you've done 2 brews recently, right? You did the IPA, which you have a keg in the back we're going to try. And then you did the Saison, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
If you were to kind of rip one in here before the end of summer, what would it be?
Well, I got to do...
Please let it be one of my favorites you've done in a long time.
Well, I want to squeeze in the cream ale, the coconut cream ale.
I like that one a lot.
And then I have to do a brew for the Oktoberfest, which I'm probably going to use the Kveik again. If I don't have
Boy, for an Oktoberfest, you shouldn't. But
I know I shouldn't, but I've done it before and it's passable.
right.
You did it not that long ago.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I do dig the coconut cream ale.
I do like that a lot.
It's really good.
You know what? I'll probably do 10 gallons and split it and do half coconut, half.
Half regular.
So when you do a cream ale, what is like your major? You got your 2-row or Pilsen or whatever you use, and what are you using for a caramel? I mean, how do you balance your cream ale so it's creamy?
I flaked corn.
Flake corn? You don't use a caramel 20 or anything like that?
I didn't expect this out of Larry, just so you know.
What?
Cream.
I use some creamed corn.
Cream corn.
Well, like
Maybe
canned cream corn?
yeah. Just dump it in there.
Really?
No.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, it's like
No. That's funny.
Weird.
It is
I use
weird.
it to catch perch and stuff. Whole
Really?
corn, yeah.
Really?
You go out fishing in Lake Erie and you find some perch out there and they ain't biting. You dump frickin' corn on the can out of the
Really?
can.
Because if you do that when you're deer hunting, you get in trouble for that.
No, we're allowed to bait in
You allowed
the
to
state
feed?
of Ohio.
Yeah.
All right.
I took malt.
Apples,
I took
corn.
malt out
Oh,
there,
yeah.
spent
I
grain,
love it.
spread it on my property. The deer come up, you see all the tracks. They're in there. You put so much grain out there, they're digging into the ground trying to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And then,
Yeah.
And then there you go.
right, this is a trap, they said.
Yeah. Speaking of corn, right? We have some upcoming events coming up pretty soon.
All right.
Yes, we do.
Number 1 on the list is this Friday is the second version of the Brewers of the Corn out at Four Paws. And Madison's going to be there this week. So it's pretty exciting. By Madison, I mean Tom and Maria and some beers. We're hooking up with 8th Day. Should be a really cool experience for that. If you have not gotten your ticket for this Friday's Brewers of the Corn at Four Paws, you're going to miss out. There's so much you get from that. You get your ticket price gets you into the corn maze to hang out with, I believe, try out 20 different beers, right? 10 brewers, 20 beers, or so. And then you get a beer ticket for Four Paws at the end. So come back to the clubhouse, to the brewery to have a beer. And you get an ear of sweet corn.
It's good corn, too. I was out there.
Oh, great corn. So a lot going on. Get there for that. If you missed this weekend, there's another one coming up as well. But get on there in social media. Check out those things. Get your ticket for this weekend. The beer lineup is going to be fantastic. Get there.
Yeah, we got a link in the description here.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So we always like to talk about music events, and I just have two here that I had time to research. And they're both Billy Morris and Sunset Strip. Friday, they're going to be at the International Festival.
Yeah.
Out at St. John Bosco Church in Cleveland.
Yep.
7 p.m. they get started. They usually play about 3 hours. Also, this Saturday, they're going to be at the Time Warp in Westlake. It starts at 9 p.m. And
Maybe we should hit that up, by the way.
It's always packed, so get there early.
9 p.m.'s fun. Good time to see him. I'm done and get him rolling at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks, dude.
Sounds good. Ready to grain out?
It's time to grain out.
All right, so don't forget to email us at blabbermalt@gmail.com if you have questions, concerns, if we screwed up, if you have something you want us to cover, if you have a brewery you want us to visit, let us know. We'll hit them up, get them on the show. Actually, let them know and have them contact us.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're the BlabberMalt Show, Facebook and YouTube, and at BlabberMalt at X, Instagram, and Threads. And don't forget to hit up the Printify shop and get your swag.
Get some swag. Get ready for the year.
Swag.
Bring my coffee cup next time. Looking forward to I used that this morning. It was epic.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite coffee cup now.
I love it. I love it. So, Larry, appreciate you coming out today. Like I said before, get yourself to ESP in Amherst. Great little place. Thanks for coming out again.
Hopefully you're up running real soon.
Yeah, and Lorraine.
I hope so.
We're getting there. Me too, guys. Keep us in your prayers. Let's go. We're right there, man.
Yeah, ESP Brewing Company on Facebook, and I believe you guys are on Instagram. So
yeah,
check 'em
Instagram,
out
whatever.
Not so much X we heard the other day.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But thankfully we're through the storms, and we're ready for a nice, easy fall. And fall should bring a lot of great beers for Northern Ohio here. Not just me, but check out every freaking brewery you can, because we all need your support, and we're local. And, like I said, Railroad was out without power for a week. Avon was out, and they lost money on stuff. So please support your local brewery.
Yeah, please do that.
Get to the tap room.
Yep.
Get to the tap room.
Plenty in our county. Stay in our county. There's 9 breweries down in our county, soon to be 10, and that's a big deal. So come out and support local. We appreciate everybody. Hey, guys, until next time, stay malty, Cleveland.